Welcome to Candlewick Library. I'm Cheryl. Today I'm sharing the books I'm hoping to read for July. I've talked before about The Bright Side Girl with some of the readathons that I've participated in that she's done. She always does really fun readathons. And in July, she's doing the Mermaid Marathon. She has a little map that you can go to different places on the map. There's an island, a pirate, a mermaid, a selkie, a sea creature, a ship, so it says a cruise. There's stranded on the island with a little campfire, buried treasure, there's diving, there's sea monster. So you basically can just travel all over this map however you want to, picking your prompts. She did say that she was going to have 6 that are the main prompts, and then you can do the other ones as well on top of that if you want, but at least those main ones. And I forgot what those ones are right now, but I will link her below so you can go check out this readathon. And I have some books I've gotten recently that would fit this readathon, and a few that I might reread. So I decided this year I really wanted to take part. So during those 2 weeks, I'm going to get as many of these books read as possible. First, The Secret of Roan Inish by Rosalie Fry. It says originally titled The Secret of the Ron More Scary, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I've never seen the movie, never read the book. It's really small, but I've heard really good things about it. So I wanted to get to this, and it says between land and sea, there is a place where myths are real. Fiona has come to live with her grandparents on the coast, so close to the beloved island of Ronmore her family called home for generations. Fiona hopes to find her long-lost baby brother Jamie, who disappeared the day her family evacuated the island. It is not until she hears the myth of the Selkie, part human, part seal, that she truly believes Jamie must be alive and that the seals have been taking care of him. So that one would fit the Selkie on the map. One of my Michael Crichton books that I want to reread this year is Pirate Latitudes. It's in the Caribbean in 1665. So I know that I liked this when I read it. It's all the way back when it first came out. So I don't really remember very much about it. That will be perfect for the pirates. But I have also thought about rereading Becoming Hook by Mary Meckham. This is a retelling of Tinkerbell and Hook. And I enjoyed this the first time I read it. But the main reason I wanted to read that again is because I have the sequel, Hunting Sirens. I wasn't sure if I needed to remember things from the first book before I read this one or not, so I may or may not read that one first. If you've read both, let me know if I need to read the first one for sure. I might just want to anyway, but if I don't need to, then I don't know. This is trapped on an island nation surrounded by bloodthirsty sirens. The starving people of Haven Harbor are losing hope. Treva, a deaf blacksmith immune to the tempting call of the sirens lurking in the deep, steps into the perilous role of siren hunter. Christy was talking about that. The other day she had recommendations, and some of them included mermaid books. She recommended that, and then also this mermaid book, A Kingdom Submerged. This was the first in the series, The Vizsla Chronicles. This was book 1. And this says, a determined mermaid, the powerless son of a magic-wielding lion, 2 worlds never meant to collide. I thought this sounded really good. And then 2 more that I am thinking about getting to. We have this illustrated fairy tale book. This has a bunch of the different princess fairy tales in it, and it looks like it's manga. It isn't manga, it's the full text of them, but it has manga-like illustrations in it. We love it. It's really well done. And this has The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen in it, and I have read it, but I'm thinking of rereading that one. And then this retelling, Son of the Deep by K.B. Hoyle. I read this when Owl's Nest Publishers first put it out, and I liked it, but I've wanted to revisit it again. It's like a Little Mermaid retelling, but it's gender swapped. Between all of those, I think I'll be able to get the island, the pirates, the mermaid, the selkie, and sea creatures, maybe a cruise, because that could be a pirate cruise. So if I do both pirate books, and I don't know what else. I don't know if I'll be able to get any of the other ones, but I'm hoping that I will be able to get all of these. For my American literature course and reading the classics, I have 2 books for this summer, for July and August. I don't think I'll be able to read both of them in July, so I think I'm going to be reading one in July and starting one in July and finishing in August. That one would be The Stand by Stephen King. This is huge, so I doubt with all the other books that I'll be able to get to this all the way, get to this whole thing. But I think if I could at least do half of this in July and half of it in August, that would be good. It's probably been 25 plus years since I read this. So there are some things that really stick out in my mind still, but a lot of details I've forgotten, and I really have wanted to read it again. And then one of my favorite books of all time is East of Eden by John Steinbeck. However, again, this is a book I haven't read for probably 15 years. I don't know why. I don't know why I haven't picked it up in that long, because I usually do reread my favorites. I don't know if it'll still be a favorite. I think it will be. And so I'm planning on reading this probably in July. Again, it could go into August. Rereading my Michael Crichton books, I'm also hoping to get to Andromeda Strain. A military space probe is knocked out of orbit and falls to Earth. 12 miles from the crash site, an inexplicable phenomenon contaminates the residents of a sleepy desert town in Arizona, leaving leaving only 2 survivors, an elderly addict and a newborn infant. One book that I know for sure I'm going to be reading in July is Austenland by Shannon Hale. I really enjoyed this book, but this year she just put out a new version. So she said that there are things that she wished she could change since having written it. I don't know what those things are. This is one of those few rare stories that I have said that I love the movie more than the book. The movie is so funny, and I'm wondering, since she was the one that did the movie along with a few other people, I'm wondering if maybe she wanted to put some of the movie elements into the book. There might be something else, I don't know. But it also has a whole section in the back of this about the making of the movie. And I thought that the new covers were really cute too. So she's also putting out a new version of Midnight in Austenland, the sequel. And then I think in September, a book that's coming out that's completely new called Christmas in Austenland. So I really wanted to see what I think of this new edition to decide if I want to get the Midnight in Austenland redo and if I want to get the new book. I'm hoping that I will, because I love the new covers and a Christmas one sounds like so much fun. So I will definitely be reading this in July. This will also count toward my Jurassic reading challenge, because for July, it is the Pachycephalosaurus and it is a stubborn character. So I felt like that would work perfectly with Jane in Austenland. My nonfiction for July, Passing the Torch, an apology for classical Christian education. And this just sounds so good. The purpose and the meaning of education, and that's something I really love reading about. So hopefully this is going to be as good as it sounds. I have 3 other books I've recently bought that I really want to get to soon. I've been hearing so much about the author Riley Sager, and I've never read anything by Riley Sager. So I got Home Before Dark and The Last Time I Lied. So these are thrillers. The Last Time I Lied says 2 truths and a lie. Vivian, Natalie, Allison, and Emma played it all at the time at Camp Nightingale, but the games ended the night Emma sleepily watched the others sneak out of the cabin into the darkness. The last she or anyone saw of them was Vivian closing the cabin door, hushing Emma with a finger pressed to her lips. And then it goes on from there. And then the other one is 25 years ago, Maggie Holt and her parents, Ewan and Jess, moved into Banbury Hall, a rambling Victorian estate in the Vermont woods. 3 weeks later, they fled in the dead of night, an ordeal Ewan later recounted in a nonfiction book titled House of Horrors. Today, Maggie is a restorer of old homes and too young to remember any of the events mentioned in her father's book, but she also doesn't believe a word of it. I've heard a lot of people recommending these, so I'm assuming they're not going to be past my level of scariness and all of that, hopefully. And then one other book that I saw at the bookstore and I was very intrigued, so I decided to get it. It's called The Escape Game, and this is by Marissa Meyer and Tamara Moss. And since I like Marissa Meyer's books that I've read, I thought I could give something else a chance by her. And this says, it's all fun and games until someone ends up dead. 6 months ago, season 4 of The Escape Game ended in horror when contestant Alicia Angelos was found murdered on set. Now season 5 is underway and new contestants are ready to put their skills to the test, solving the show's trickiest escape room. It's got a really cool design on this book. So I looked up some reviews of it that were really good, and it sounded like a lot of fun to me. It sounds like a really good summer book. So I'm hoping to get to as many of those as possible. Let me know if you've read any of those that you think should be my priority for the month.